Right around lunchtime today, this happened at the headquarters of Hardee's in St. Louis, Missouri. These folks marched into the corporate offices of the Hardee's fast food chain. At the same time, protesters were also marching outside the California headquarters of Carl's Jr. today. The nominee to be the new Secretary of Labor in this country is the CEO of Hardee's and Carl's Jr. His name is Andrew Puzder. His confirmation hearing is supposed to be this Thursday, but this is what kickoff to his confirmation week looked like in more than 24 cities around the country. Democratic senators have fought hardest so far against Betsy DeVos to be Education Secretary and Jeff Sessions to be Attorney General. But Democrats actually think they've got the best chance of beating the nomination of this guy. Since he's been CEO, Puzder's fast food restaurants have been accused of erasing people's work hours out of time charts in order to avoid paying them overtime. They've been accused of telling their employees to clock out and sit in the parking lot when business is slow, so the employees don't get paid for that time. They've been accused of breaking child labor laws. They've also been accused of requiring their employees to pay 10 cents an hour every hour for the privilege of wearing a work uniform. So you can see why fast food workers would be willing to make a fuss in his corporate offices today. For the record, his defenders say it's the individual restaurant store owners who are responsible for stuff like this, not Andrew Puzder. He's just the CEO. But then there's this. A court in Missouri tomorrow will decide whether or not to unseal Mr. Puzder's divorce records. Now, these records reportedly include allegations of domestic abuse made against him by his former wife in the 1980s. Now, his former wife has since recanted those allegations, but today there's a new wrinkle in that part of the story. Politico reported a few weeks ago that Andrew Puzder's ex-wife had once appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Around the time of their divorce, she'd appeared in disguise to talk about being a victim of domestic violence. That reporting from Politico in January set off a frenzy of people searching for that tape of that Oprah Winfrey Show. Nobody apparently found it. Well, today, 3 days before the hearing in the Senate on Andrew Puzder's confirmation, the tape has reportedly surfaced. The Washington Post reporting that one of the 4 Republican senators who now says he or she is on the fence about Andrew Puzder is Maine Senator Susan Collins. And she said she has reviewed footage of an Oprah Winfrey Show interview with Puzder's ex-wife. Tonight, Politico reports further that the tape was provided to senators of both parties by the Oprah Winfrey Network. The episode was reportedly called High Class Battered Women. They say it aired in March 1990. The Republican chairman on the committee overseeing Puzder's nomination, Lamar Alexander, says he supports Puzder's nomination, although Senator Alexander himself has arranged for his colleagues on the committee to see that Oprah tape. He says the whole thing for him is not an issue. The top Democrat on the committee disagrees. Senator Patty Murray of Washington said she watched the tape and she was, quote, deeply troubled by it. Even before this development, we knew that Andrew Puzder was having serious trouble getting through the vetting process. His paperwork only came through this past week. It was revealed he hired an undocumented worker as a nanny and that he did not pay taxes for that person. His hearing has already been delayed 5 times. But we now know this video of his ex-wife talking about abuse allegations against him during their marriage. That's now in rotation on Capitol Hill. Andrew Puzder can only afford to lose 2 Republican votes if all Democrats vote against his nomination. It would only take 1 Republican no vote in committee to send his nomination to the full Senate with an unfavorable recommendation. And on that committee, there are those 4 Republicans who say they're on the fence. And all of this as the street-level opposition to his nomination continues to gather momentum. This is going to be a close one and an interesting one.